Hello.
Hi, welcome back. Welcome back.
We've I think we've always just sang the intro.
Yeah,
Little
it's whatever
jingle.
comes naturally to us, honestly.
It's so true. Happy what day is it? Happy
Thursday,
Thursday. We're back.
we're
Um
back. We have
how
exciting weekend. I have an exciting weekend.
yeah, tell them what you're gonna do.
I'm just excited. I just want to say I'm going to the Zach Bryan concert for free, and I'm really excited. And I just literally love you, Morgan. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm
And
very jealous about that.
this actually will lead in to the podcast, but something that I'm doing, and I'll let y'all listeners know how it goes this weekend. But I am making myself oh, let's not put my number on there. I am I am making myself hold on. Let me delete my number real quick. Business cards, slay. Um, and I'm gonna hand them out to men, and I'm gonna give them my number, and it's gonna
Like
be
a
so much
true
fun.
icon you are.
Yes, it's gonna be fun. I gotta get
I
them
think
printed
that's
out tomorrow
hilarious.
morning.
It's like not something that they probably see every day. A dating business card. This woman is a genius.
You're welcome.
So, this episode, we want to talk a little bit about dating, mostly because one of us is in a new era of our lives of dating, and that happens to be Laura. I'm married, but I have had experience with dating as well. But yeah, this is like, Laura, how would you say it's going for you?
So I'm really new to this. My husband died last year, making of last year, and so I have been navigating all of that, and um it has been an interesting ride. It does feel like I am, like, 21 years old, and I'm making a lot of the mistakes that, like, I know that I shouldn't be making, but I kinda almost feel like I've got to go through to get to the where I need to be. So, a little backstory, I've never dated ever. I had, like, barely went on any dates, before my husband. I had, like, a boyfriend here and there, but, like, you know, high school, I was grounded a lot, so it was definitely a different vibe, and now I'm dating as, like, a full 30-year-old adult, and I really feel like everyone has, like, a little bit step ahead, especially people my age, and I'm just trying to, like, navigate it. I have a lot of relationship experience, so I do know, like, communication, and I do understand all of that, but necessarily, like, dating multiple people in the sense of, like, going on dates, obviously being committed to multiple people, but um, that is, like, really new and scary and different for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I'm
I know how
sure
to be a
there's
wife. I
what?
know really well how to be a wife. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, no, you've been a wife for quite a while, so this is like such a whole new phase and especially because dating is just always changing. Like just looking from like when I was in college and I was single and like dating around and versus like where it's at now, where dating is at now, it has changed kind of a lot. And I feel like it's right now primarily um people are like on apps more than like just meeting at a bar. I mean, it still happens, but it's
Oh,
just,
yeah.
it's always dating, but especially to go like from what you've gone from to like this whole new world, I'm sure it's probably a bit of a shock
It's a jump
to say
scare.
the least. Have you gone on any dates?
Yes, so I've gone on a few dates, with people, and I've done, like, a few, like, hangouts, which I do know that, like, a hangout means that they don't really wanna potentially date you. But, sometimes it's nice to have, like, a little companion to hang out, like, go out with somebody, chill. Um, but yeah, I've been on a few dates, and they've all been I will say, like, any of the men that I've interacted with, like, texting, hanging out, dates, they have all been really, like, pretty wonderful men. They just I can tell pretty quickly that they're not my man, based on just, like, what the trajectory of how, like, I want my life to go, and, sometimes I'll, like, go on dates with them still and continue to do that, just to gain experience and also, like, teach myself to communicate like, hey, you might not be my person, but I do like spending time with you. So if you're still willing to do that, but knowing that like we're not going to move forward like relationship wise, and we can keep doing that. So just kind of like navigating what that looks like for me and learning what I like and don't like.
Mhm.
And thank you for every man that's been a testimony of mine, really. It's kind of how they have been. And everyone's been pretty patient and understanding. No one's been like too crazy with me, which I I'm really grateful for, really.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, the whole point of dating is to weed out people who are not right for you and, like, find, I always say my mom always says, "The whole point of dating is to take things that you really like out of each person that you've been dating before and find that and then some in the next person." And, it may take a couple more people until you find, like, the one, but this is how you do it. So, and I would like to say Laura and I are very different. I mean, granted, I don't have to like go on first dates anymore, but I genuinely hated dating. Like, I did not like going on a first date. It always made me so nervous. Like, I'm like, I just am an overthinker. So I didn't go on many like first dates. It was mostly like hang out or meet someone out, with my friends and stuff. But there were a couple of first dates I went on, and I don't know. Laura, you have more fun with it than I did. That's for sure. I will say that. Have
No,
you?
I enjoy a date. I enjoy getting to know people. I think something that really I saw the other day that hit home is, everyone's like, "Oh, dating for marriage, dating for marriage." And I think dating with intentionality is very, very important. But when I feel like you put all this pressure on marriage and whatever, it's almost like you're not trying to find somebody that you're compatible with forever. You're just trying to find somebody who will like do this wedding and marriage thing with you. And I feel like if you just look at it as like I'm meeting someone new, I could have a friend, it could be a business opportunity. Like there's a reason this person is in my life, maybe to teach me what I don't like about this date, or maybe to have a bad date and for content. Like literally, you just never know. And when you take the pressure off of like, I'm trying to find my soulmate, and we all are looking for companionship, whether you want to get married or whatever. But it is I just feel like we should take the pressure off and just have some fun. Just
Yeah.
hang out, get to know people. Anyway,
Yeah. I think when I was like dating or whatever in college, so over 6, 7 years ago, I could have used that advice. Just like have fun with it. Because for me, it was like almost I had it in my head that this is like an interview, and that's
mhm,
not like you should just be like, "Oh, I'm meeting up with a new person. I love to like get to know them and them get to know me and like have some good food and drinks or whatever." But you definitely have fun with it. So that's important. You got to have fun with it.
you do.
Um I guess when was the last not when was. Let me restart that. Like what was one of your favorite dates that you've been on and how did that go?
Um, I have probably top 3 favorite dates that I've been on. One was a guy one time drove over 10 hours to come hang out with me for one night, and that was pretty iconic. That was actually the first date I'd ever been on, and, um yeah, so that was really cool. Just, like, the fact that he put that much effort, like, brought me flower I mean, everything. It was pretty, amazing, and that guy's a really great guy. Um, and so I do have, like, a lot of respect for him. My friends definitely thought he was crazy, and we definitely, like, background checked him. We're really worried for me there for a second, but
I mean,
he is
10
totally
hours 10
yeah.
hours is that's
It was, like,
commitment.
22 hours in, like, 48-hour span. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
10 hours each way.
Yeah.
He
I
must
mean,
have
once in a
really
lifetime
liked
thing. That was actually, my husband wasn't the best at planning dates, so that was, like, my literally very first date ever, that
Mhm,
somebody asked me on and took me.
mhm.
So that's just, like, of course, a Laura thing to do is, like, of course, this is your first date.
Yeah.
Um, and then, what else? Another favorite date was a very last minute thing, and, oh my god, I did not plan this. We went to the Josh Malloy concert, and,
Oh,
it
and
was
you're wearing
it
the
was
hat.
and I'm wearing the hat, and,
Look at
you know when you have, like, a movie moment, in a bar, and yeah, that guy, like, picked me up in the whole bar, and we, like, made out, and, like, he, like, carried me to the bar and set me on the bar, and that was wild, and also bring back making out in public 2024 because that was, like, a really that was a movie moment, I'll never forget that date either, and then I think the last date I went on was also pretty good. He just, like, planned the date fully, like, took initiative, made sure he knew that I was, "Hey, like, I'm excited to go on this date with you tonight," sent me the picture of the reservations, like, made sure ahead of time so that I could, like, get a babysitter and do whatever needed to be done, and that was, cool, and I really, like, appreciate that, and it wasn't, like, a super special magical date, like, and the person, is fine, once again, also not my person, but I just the intentionality behind it to me is, like, really important. Abby, do
Yeah.
you remember one of your favorite dates in your dating history? She feels
Um,
like she has to say Ty.
yeah, so to be honest, like I said, I was not really into going on dates, but I had a couple of nice dates. Yeah, I'll tell the one about like mine and Tyler's first date because that was really like it worked out very well.
Yeah.
But we first FaceTimed, so we met through mutual friends. Shout out Sarah Adams.
Whoop, whoop.
We met through her, and he was going to a school that was like an hour and a half away, but he was about to fly to Colorado where his parents lived. And so he's like, "Do you want to meet me?" It was like right by an airport in Iowa, and we just went to this place. And I asked him the other night, I was like, "Do you remember where we went? Like, what was that called?" And he's like, "Couldn't tell you." So we can't even remember what that place is, but I just remember like it was raining, and I was really nervous to go on a date since that's not my thing usually. But I had
Yeah.
FaceTimed him, and I was like, "Okay, he's real. My friend is like, you guys would be great together." I thought he's hilarious. So we get there, and he had waited in his car for me for my car to pull up. I think we each drove like, I don't know, 40-ish minutes. And he got out, and I think he like took my hand right away and like walked me in there. We got a table. I think I got like an IPA and a flatbread, and he got a beer and something else. And I just remember being like, I think the first thing I asked him was, "Have you ever been into like a physical fight with anyone?" And his answer in short was no. He said there was, like, one time he wanted to and didn't. I was like, "Okay, green flag, no fighting." And then I went to the bathroom, like, halfway through, and I called my roommate who was the one who set us up, Sarah, and I was like, "This is amazing." She's like, "Oh god, why are you calling me?" She's like, "I thought you were gonna be like, 'This is awful, come pick me up, but if it's going good, just go back, like, don't'" she's like, "Don't waste any more time with me, go have fun." Anyway, then, we closed out the date by I think he kissed me, like, twice in the rain, and I was like, "Ooh, how romantic." And it was genuinely the most, like it was just, like, the easiest date ever because we were just giggling the whole time, and, like, it felt like we've known each other forever, so nothing was weird at all. And, the other thing I think people don't usually talk about is what happens after a date if it goes well. Like, I I would think before going on that date that, "Oh, when is he gonna text me? Is he gonna text me?" There was none of that. It was, like, immediately he's like, "That was great, we should do it again," and we just
Mhm.
kept FaceTiming after that. But that was definitely the best date since now we're married, so it worked out very, very well.
So
But
cute.
I have had some weird dates. I don't even know if you wanna call them dates. There was one guy who I remember he, like, slingshot marbles at people who are walking, like he was on a balcony, so, like, his apartment was up high, and he was slingshotting marbles at people walking by in the street. That was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced, like, on a date. But, ugh, have you had weird
Yeah.
dates? Any weird dates that you've experienced?
Weird. I had a guy ask me if I had an OnlyFans on a
Oh,
date. Yeah.
just out of nowhere? No context?
No, I was like, "Oh, I do personal styling, but I also do, like, odds and end jobs, like, to make money flipping furniture, ship shopping, all that kinda stuff." On top of all the other stuff that I do, and he was like, "Oh," when I said, like, odds and end jobs, he was like, "Oh, like, you have an OnlyFans?" And I was like, "Nope." And he was like, "Oh, I just need to double check." And I'm like,
That's
I mean,
so odd.
fair, but also
Like, of all things, I just feel
I
like
was
that's
like, "Do I look like I'm like, I don't know, sometimes I go TikTok live, like, you want me to tell you like, that's why I'm tipping your toe around it, not because I have an OnlyFans, which if you have an OnlyFans,
yeah, that's insane.
live your life. That's just
I
not my
wonder
journey."
no. I wonder how many I wonder if you're gonna have some weird dates, and report back if you do, but
Oh, y'all are coming along with this journey.
so Laura and I both saw this, it was like a TikTok or a video someone posted, and we thought it was brilliant where, I basically would make a Hinge profile for Laura and say, "Hey, I'm her friend. Here's pictures of her. We're like, this is going to be a blind, date, but FaceTime date because we're not gonna like just throw her out there with a person who maybe isn't a normal person. I don't know, a FaceTime date. So I will be going through these guys, getting rid of any people who have any like red flags and keeping the ones with green flags. And also, I know Laura's physical type like to the T. So I'm confident I'd be able to pick out some of those and then just like set up a time with them to do a FaceTime date and just see what happens from there. Cause that way it's kind of like the dating app world meets like the meeting through friends world in a way,
That's
kind of.
true, that's true.
But
No,
that
I
would
think
be
that would be
fun.
fun. You know me, I love a bit. I love, like, putting myself out there. I love trying something new, and I think that's what makes dating fun
Yeah.
is, you know, like, trying something different. Get your friend to do it, pass out business cards, leave your number at a lunch. Like,
Yeah.
I literally gave my number to some guy today. I haven't heard from him. I just, like, left my number. I no context. I could tell he liked my outfit, and he was, like, asking me about my hat. And I just left my number on the table, and, so
And now we stay tuned.
we stay tuned.
So we'll see.
Who knows about texting back? That's a great question.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I guess so Laura, you've said this a couple times that this is very new for you. It's not like you've been in the dating world for years and years or even that many months. What is something like valuable that you've learned just like about yourself through this process?
Um, One is I think trusting my gut. I think at the end of the day, you can, um, like, listen to other people's opinions, and of course you want them, but I think really trusting your gut is good. I think another thing that I've really learned is, like, let's not overthink everything. I have, I always say anxious attachment, but I also think I do think possibly fearful because I'm very all or nothing. Like, I'm either like, "Oh my gosh, I'm excited." I'm like, "Da da da, all in. Oh my gosh, is he texting me? Does he like me? Da 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 da." And so excited, or I'm like, "Yeah." You'd be like, "What about that guy?" And I was like, "Oh, I just realized he never
Mhm.
texted me. I haven't heard him from in 2 days." And you're like
Mhm.
so, just, like, learning how to, like, when you get excited about somebody to, like, take a beat, slow down, like, just realize that you're vetting them just as much as they're vetting you and, like, listen to the words that they say, and if they lie to you, that's on them. Like, of course, watch for signs, but, like, this process, my friends are really worried about me getting hurt. My family is really worried about me being hurt, but that I do know that that is gonna come with it because you cannot find love without getting hurt, and I'm gonna have to put myself out there, and be willing and open and vulnerable to that because I have noticed when I have gotten hurt in situations, I have always grown from it, and it has always made me better at, dating, and at the end of the day, yeah, I wanna be good at dating, but I wanna be in a good relationship, so that's really the end goal, not being,
Mhm.
like, trained at dating.
Yeah, I think too, it's important to while you're dating people, just to make sure that you don't have to stay in anything that's not you're
Right.
not feeling it. Like, you shouldn't feel bad if you had a date and you don't wanna go on a second date. And whether you tell them, like, "Hey, I'm not interested anymore," like, cross that bridge when you get there, or if you just I mean, I don't know, like, I don't think anyone should feel bad for this is probably controversial, but for like ghosting more or less, it's like if you're not interested, that's okay. You're not committed to anyone. You're not in a relationship with them or anything. You're literally just single, figuring it out. And there are a lot of people who like, there's some good qualities about this guy though, and then there's a lot of bad, but they're just comfortable because there's a couple. things that are
Good.
better than the last person they've been with, and then
Right.
they're stuck kind of. So I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like there's a whole world of men and women out there like who are single and ready to mingle, and you
Yeah.
don't have to be committed until you really feel ready.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think to go back to the ghosting, I think okay, people say ghosting all the time. I think if you have been on a bunch of dates with someone for months and months and months and you completely drop off the face of the planet and do not communicate with them at all or never answer their call again or block them, that would be ghosting. I think if you go on 1 to 2 dates with this person and you trail off or you don't respond anymore, I think that's totally fair. It's up to you to like send a message if you want to, or let it be like, some people are like, oh, I text them and say, like, hey, I'm not interested anymore. I know that you ghosted me, or like, just so that they feel like they've got closure. You can do that. Or you can literally never text them again. Like, I've had people reach out after dates and be like, oh, that was great. And then like just trail off. But
Mhm.
that's part of it.
And just as like you have every right to not follow up with someone after a date, you also have every right to follow up if you really like people don't have to you don't have to after a date be like, I really wonder if he's thinking about me. I had a great time. Like text him. Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah.
It's just like the
If
same. It
that's
goes
what
either
you
way.
want to do, whatever. Yeah. I mean, don't like
Exactly.
chase down a
Dating is
man,
so
but
interesting, honestly. There's just no rules, and you're just kind of like seeing which people you vibe with and which people you have chemistry with, which is, I think, why dating is so important to do it like in person. I mean, you meet on an app, that's great, but meet up in person if you feel like it's right because there's a lot of times where your actual chemistry in person is just not how it was over texting.
so true.
And so I think you just gotta send it full
I
send.
I think so too. I think so too. I'm
Please
not
please
not
hold.
interested in having
Oh, wait, finish your thought.
I said I'm just not interested in having pen pals.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I would be cool with an out of town situationship or like
it's like
relationships.
along these lines. Another thing that's very common right now, like, remember I don't know if you guys called it this, but in high school, I remember people would say so if you're not actually in a relationship, like, officially with someone, you would say, "Oh, me and this person, we have a thing." That's what we would call
Mhm.
it.
Okay.
Now, it's like we're in a situationship, which honestly, I like better than a
The
thing,
thing. Yeah.
but what like, that word situationship, I hear that all the time. What do you think that means? Describe what you think like a situationship it means to you.
It a situationship is sorry. A situationship is a relationship between two people that is not committed, or there may be levels of commitment, but it's not a full committed relationship. Um, it kind of has your own rules, where I feel like I mean, relationships have their own rules too, but there is a little bit more understanding. This one is kind of like, maybe I don't want to be in a relationship and you want to be in a relationship and you're hanging on, or I want to be in a relationship and you don't, and I'm just trailing on and hanging on, or maybe neither one of us want to be in a relationship. Situationships are not meant to work out. That's why they're not a relationship. And so, a lot of times it's uneven, but sometimes you get even feelings and um or mutual feelings. I wouldn't say even. I feel like a lot of times someone likes a person more than other, or they both want to date, they'd probably be dating. Um, yeah, but I think they can be good. I actually think, unpopular opinion, I think they can be good. It depends what you want. For me, I think something. I'm like, how
What?
do I say
I think you
this?
just saw a ghost.
Huh?
I said it looked like you just saw a ghost.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think like, a situationship, as long as you're all both communicative and know what you want, you can still get your feelings hurt. But I think as long as you both are understanding what the bounds of your relationship is, then that's important.
Yeah. I feel like a situationship is somewhere between um
Single and dating.
single and dating. Yeah, and there's no I mean, sometimes there's ground rules, but like the lines are just blurred kind of
Mhm.
regardless, I
Yeah,
feel. Um, and if they're not blurred, then you're probably like one or the other, single or in a relationship, you know?
I would not let one go past 3 months.
Why?
I just feel like it may not be healthy after that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure people have like different timelines, but I would agree. I
Sure.
feel like if you're in a situationship
I
for
just
like a
meant general.
year, yeah, I think if you're in what you're calling a situationship for, I don't know, longer than 3 months, or like if it's a couple years, it's like, what are you doing? Unless that's like genuinely what you guys want, but I just feel like that doesn't
To me, that
usually
would
work
just be an
out.
open relationship.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But,
Um, yeah.
I mean,
Situationships are,
they're very interesting.
yeah, they're kind of confusing, but they do make a lot of sense at the same time. And they're cool
Mhm.
because, yeah, they're just,
You can learn a lot about yourself and the other person, still being, like, a little, I feel like, protected.
and if you don't want to continue, you don't have to break up. That's probably
Mm.
the best. Well,
No,
you
you
could
do.
call it like whatever, but it's not
I You
technically
have to have a
like let's,
conversation. You
I
don't have to,
yeah, but you know what I
but
mean? Like, you don't have
you
to be
can't
like,
hang out with somebody for 4 months and then not speak to them ever again and just ghost them. That's wrong.
yeah, but you
You
don't
should have
have
a
to go
talk.
through the whole like, Facebook unofficial or whatever. Like, it's
Oh,
not like anything. You don't have to actually be like, yeah, no, it's definitely respectful, and you should definitely communicate where you're at and not just like poof,
yeah,
be done and
gone.
gone. Like,
Yeah.
the mature thing to do is have a conversation, but you don't have to actually like announce anything kind of to
Oh,
anyone is like, you
yes.
know what I mean? I mean, maybe
True,
some
true.
people do, but
Well,
um,
I was thinking there was a song and it's called "Let's Be Friends," and it's like, in the lyric, it's like, "Let's be friends so that way, because if we're together, that means we have to break up one day, but no matter what you call it, it's gonna end and it's gonna hurt the same." And
mhm,
it's like, it's kinda true. I think sometimes people are
yeah.
like, "I'm scared to date. That's why I'm in a
Well,
situationship."
just because 'cause you're in a situationship doesn't mean that you don't have feelings. I mean, that's part of a situationship is, like, you clearly have got some kind of feels going on, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
What are you looking for in just the next person that you date?
I would say the 3 things that are really important to me, I mean, I have a list, of course, but really it boils down to chemistry. I like to have chemistry with someone. You can build chemistry with somebody, but it needs to have like some kind of initial spark. I don't love butterflies because sometimes butterflies just mean anxiety, but some kind of like attractiveness towards them and also compatibility. How especially I'm at the age too where people kind of have their way that they wanna live pretty set, and they know who they are, and it's not about changing that other person. Now, of course, you can, like, you know, maybe I have never been to a basketball game, but I've never been to a basketball game, and I go with a person, and I end up enjoying it. Of course, you can, like, change a little bit about yourself, but essentially you are who you are, and it's about finding somebody who works well with your life and meshes well with your life, and you want the same things in life, and you communicate the same. Because if you're at this level of what you can give, and they are at this level, you're never going to be compatible. Like they have to be able to give at their 20% to another person who only can give 20%. But if you're a 60% something, I kinda hate that if he wanted to, he would. Sometimes they can't, but that doesn't mean you accept that behavior. Um, that means you have to walk away from that behavior because you are a person who is gonna give 60 and you need them to also give 60, and they're just not there, and for whatever reason, and it doesn't mean that you're not worthy enough, and it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you or that you ask for too much. It's just you've gotta find somebody who is compatible in that way, and also, as well as communication. Like I need someone to be able to sit down and have hard conversations and be calm about it and not freak out. No matter how painful. And I need you to be honest and I need to set down our pride and be vulnerable, and come out things like, "Hey, when you did this, it hurt me." Not, "You're a piece of crap because you did that." And it's all in the way that you argue and communicate. So I would say really chemistry, compatibility, and communication are my top 3 things,
The 3
as well as,
C's.
yeah, that's general.
Mhm. Yeah, I think, I think some people get confused, especially if you've never really been in a relationship before, which clearly both of us have, so, I mean,
Yes. We have
but,
plenty of relationship experience.
but I think people get confused because, there are these like, there's, like, a foundation that has to be there, but a relationship, either way, it's going to take work. I mean, I know that doesn't sound like fun, but, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to, like, either way, people separately, as like myself, I'm my own person. Tyler is his own person. We are not the same person, but we both are growing. And as long as you grow, like in alignment with each other, like parallel, and you're both growing together instead of growing apart, that's what you need. And I think, I mean, I don't think, I know communication is just so essential. If things are going to work out, you both have to be able to communicate and move forward instead of, I think a lot of people too, I've been in a relationship in the past where it was always, you're bad because you did this to me, instead of like, I feel this is how I felt when you said that or whatever. And it was more of like a blame it on you. You're the one who messed up. But as long as you can actually hear each other out and be like, "I hear you, I understand. I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing." And then like, here's how I'll try to, move forward with it. But I
Mhm.
think sometimes people just kind of expect something, like someone to change, in like a way where it's just not, I don't know, feasible. It's just kind of like, I'm trying to think of an example because I know people like this too, where it's like, oh, he's does this, but I'm helping him change. It's like, well, but they have to want to too. And like, you can't make anyone change. But if they're willing to grow and they're hearing you, and you're willing to like work with them and grow too, it'll be okay. But either way, you have to talk through it. You can't just like expect someone to change and not, or like to work with your emotions and your feelings without actually talking through it. And like, not just saying this is how I feel, but like why it makes you feel that way and like what that means to you. It's so important. You can't just like slip things under the rug because it will like come out at some point and it probably won't be
Yeah.
pretty, you know.
Either
That was
they'll
a very
resent you or
broad
you'll
way of
resent them.
describing that, but I hope you understand what I meant.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be able to communicate. You have to have compatible communication styles. Not everyone does. Growth mindset you mentioned, that is one of the number one things. Yeah, and just staying calm. Like,
You do you think so I'm just going to say this, but I want to know what you think about what I'm about to say. I don't think you can like um change I don't think you can change it if you and your person don't have chemistry. I feel like that's a literal like science thing where it's like your, what do they call it? Like pheromones or something. It's like if
yeah.
you don't have chemistry, that's something that won't change. I did have a relationship too before Ty. I had a couple boyfriends. It was one of them, and not at the same time, but it was like I was just kind of hoping that chemistry would eventually like evolve and I would be, feeling it, but it just never did. And
Mhm.
if you don't feel it, it won't work. What do you think about that though? Do you think that's something you can like over time get?
Um, I think I said earlier, like, if you don't have chemistry right off the bat, maybe that can grow, like a slow burn. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think if you're in a relationship with somebody, the chemistry should already be there. Maybe after the 3rd date, or, you know, a month, if that, hanging out every now and then, you should have known if they're, because sometimes first dates are awkward, or maybe you, like, did something or went somewhere, or, like, went to like, didn't have a lot of time to talk and build that chemistry or feel that chemistry, and it could be there. But in general, no, I don't think if it's not there after a little bit, if you haven't felt anything, then then
Yeah. I
it's
mean,
not gonna happen.
the only thing I've ever experienced is either you have it and it stays, like with Tyler, or I've
Yeah.
also had it where I thought it was there and then it fizzled out, which is
Mhm.
so unfortunate because you're like, "Well, I didn't expect that," but now I have to, like, break it off and move forward because it's just like it's not coming back, and it's weird though because it was once there, and then the longer I was, like, with that person, it was like, "Where how did that just go away?" Like, that to me was m mind-blowing. It still is. Like, how like, was that just my brain, like, making things up? Is very weird.
Yeah,
But
it's
chemistry is
sad
definitely something I feel like you either have or you don't.
for sure.
Um, let's see. I guess what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone who either is newly dating or just has been dating or has never even had a relationship but is in the dating world? Like what's one piece of advice that you would give them?
So this is advice from also a newly dating person. So take it with what you will, but I would say put yourself out there and have fun. I think these are the two most important things. Obviously, be intentional, but have fun and think of creative ways to do things and give your number to strangers and or your Instagram or whatever you feel comfortable giving them, or like flirt with someone, put yourself out there, be in a place where you're willing to get rejected, because there's so much growth in that, and also it just will make your entire life easier if you are willing to be rejected.
Mhm,
Um, so yeah, I think those are probably the best piece of advice because
mhm,
most of us find somebody. Um, Majority of us do, you know? And as long as you're working on yourself and being healthy, I just like, I don't know, I have a lot of peace that my person is out there and he's chilling and he is, you know, going through life being prepared with whatever he needs to be prepared with. And I
mhm,
am, you know, if I know anything, life can change in a blink of an eye. And so you never know when and who and why you're going to meet that person. And you know, somebody may be like, "Oh, you're trying too hard because you're giving out your number and you're doing this." But I'm like, it's not because I'm like, "Oh, I need to fulfill." I'm not doing it. I'm not coming from a place of like needing fulfillment. I'm doing it from a place of like, let's throw this at the wall and see how it sticks and see how much fun we can have in the process and the giggles and the stories. And, I'm doing it for y'all.
mhm.
I'm doing it for the podcast and the content. Like Abby's over here, like perfectly happily married. And like somebody's got to come out here and like throw business cards at people just to
Yeah,
like
do it for the
get some
pod.
giggles. Do it
Well,
for the
and,
pod.
there is that saying that it's something like, growth or what growth always begins at the end of your comfort zone, maybe I remember the first time when you went up to one of those guys at, like, lunch, and you
Yeah,
just were like, "You're pretty," or whatever, and I mean, technically, you got rejected in a way because he had
yeah,
a girlfriend, but, like,
totally.
then you're like, "Okay, that's it. I didn't die. I'm here. I'm fine," and then you grow from there, and you're having fun with it, and you do it again until, like, you're
It
just
is
having
exhilarating.
fun, and I also think my advice, what I would give is just don't hide who you are, be like you're authentic, be as weird as you can. I genuinely feel like that you're gonna find your person. Not that people are like, "I need to find my person," but it will happen, like, way faster if you're just, "Here I am, like it or not, and if not, it's okay. I'll go be myself and find someone who is like, love that," you know? 'Cause I think sometimes people, at least when I did go on some dates that didn't, end up working out, I think I was pretty, like, reserved. I tried to, like, fit boxes where I thought they, would want out of someone, but it wasn't really, like, who I am, and I would maybe not I wasn't, like, lying, I just think I hid maybe, like, more of my personality, and
Mhm.
it's just that's not even fun, like, be you, be weird, and your person is going to love that, so
I will say a lot of my guy friends roast me for the things that I do or say in front of men, but I just my friend said one time, she was like, "Yeah, now just remember, not everyone is, they're putting their best foot forward on a first date. Everyone probably accepts you, Laura, because you're just gonna I don't know how to turn it off. It's a problem." Um, so I think you should just go for it. Is it working out for me? I don't know. Stay tuned to find out.
well, you have going from, like, think about a year ago to now, you've taken some pretty essential big steps that are not comfortable. You didn't expect to have like your whole world put upside down. Nobody teaches you kind of like how to handle something like that. And then you do still have to move forward and like you've put yourself out there and like you're having fun. And I feel like that's like probably the most rewarding thing you can do for yourself.
Yeah, agree.
So yeah, if any audience, if you have any like advice that you want to just put out and comment, or I don't know, we can even talk about some of the things that you say. If you have any advice for people dating, not just Laura, I mean everyone who's dating, or if you have advice for people who are in relationships, just go ahead and share it. I was gonna ask you this. This is a weird question because there's not, I don't think, any good way of like knowing what's next. But what do you think is next in like Laura's dating world? Like, what do you want to happen next? What do you plan to do? Kind of
I
just in the
think,
future.
um, so I'm new to dating, and when it first started, I kind of just like, whoo, whatever was thrown at me, I was kind of like navigating. Of course, I was um, like talking to, stand-up men, good men. I really, I'm so thankful I have not really ran into like any like really crazies. I did have a catfish one time. I mean, we never met up or whatever. He just like wouldn't face on me, and I like obviously realized that man wasn't real. Shout out.
Oh
Um,
my.
yeah, yeah, that's a whole story. We'll get into all of that one day. But that is, yeah, I got fully catfished. Um, but
Yeah.
you learn. People are Googleable, and if they're not Googleable, they're not real. It did
Googleable.
work. Googleable, yeah. So if my friend Ethan can't find you, you're not real.
True.
But other than that, no, I haven't had really any really crazies. But I guess now I'm being like way more intentional because I'm at a point where I don't necessarily want a boyfriend. The idea of companionship is warming up to me, and I think eventually, um, I think if the right person comes in my life, I'll be like, okay, wait, this is it, regardless. But I'm like tiptoeing the idea of being like, okay, she she may want some companionship and what
Mhm.
that looks like and how that is, and that's like scary for me to admit. I don't want to get hurt, but I got to, you know.
Mhm.
So, I gotta put myself out there and I gotta be more intentional, and so, yeah, I'm I am ready for whatever is next, and I'm excited to take y'all along, and I'm excited to be on this journey and, you know, share as much as I can.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. I'm trying to think. So do you have any dates planned out right now, or you're like,
I
"This is
have
the Sahara Desert?"
my phone is the Sahara Desert.
Oh.
But I kinda feel like that's kinda where I need to be right now. Um, so I'm like, maybe this is a little loneliness, that we're gonna be in for a minute. Maybe this means we're teeing up for something big. Maybe it's gonna be the same old, same old. I don't know. I have no
Mhm.
idea, but
I
no
think
dates right now. No roster, no literally nothing. We're
Mhm.
hanging out with our girly pops, which we always do,
Yeah.
but
I think whenever you are not in a relationship with someone, you're more or less forced to grow one with yourself. I mean, some people don't really focus on that, but, I did, you definitely do, and that's, like, the most important relationship to have is with yourself, and, that's just as if not more important to nurture that in the meantime, right? But
yes.
something good's gonna happen. Laura's very new to this, so this is, like, probably the start of just, you know, a whole adventure that I'm so here for, and I can't wait to do that, make your profile for you because I feel like I have confidence in my picking abilities, so hopefully you do too.
I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. Regardless, it'll be a story and it'll be fun,
Mhm.
and that's how every freaking date I go in, because if it's a bad date, it's gonna be a funny story, and if it's a good date, it's a great story. So,
Exactly. So, okay, well, I think that's kind of all of the questions that I really wanted to find out about your dating life. Did you have anything else to add before we do a game?
Oh, yes. I honestly think that we all should be, um it's hard to say this because there are some men that are kind of crappy and don't communicate, but overall, a lot of times it doesn't work out because people aren't compatible and are on different, you know, places in their healing journey. We're all just hurt people who are hurting people, trying not to hurt other people. I mean, it's really just, it's a cycle that we're in. And I think when you realize that and you don't take everything so personally and you can be grateful, I am absolutely grateful for everyone who has been on any part of this healing journey with me, um, because it is hard and it is difficult. And I think everyone kind of is on their own healing journey and path. And just being like, "You know what? Even if they didn't feel the same or they thought something different or they even lied to me, I learned this, this, and this from it, and I am grateful for that experience, and I'm grateful for that person, and I'm grateful that they were in my life for a reason or a season." And that is, it's it's really, I don't know, it's kinda beautiful when you look at it, that way, but it can be really painful. It can be really
Mhm.
painful, and I probably don't, so.
Yeah, and I think just, um, of course, being your friend, that's very specific, but just in general, being a friend, to someone who is going through a hard time, it's like I literally wish I could take some of the pain off, but there's no way to do that other than just to be there. But I think it's really cool when you notice that you have, like, a community of people who genuinely are like, "We're here to catch you regardless and build you back up and help you through all this," even if it's just to, like, sit and listen or to
Mhm,
cry with you or whatever, like,
mhm.
I think that w at least for me, like, in college, that was so important for me to have, and I, like, couldn't have done it, I don't think, without them and, like, my family, but that is genuinely something where it's just so hard as a friend to, like, watch your friend get be hurt and, like, it doesn't feel like there's much you can do, but you just wish that you could take just even a fraction of it off, but it's good that you, I don't know, have, like, all these people who, like, you trust and can rely on when you do feel that way.
I'm very, very, very grateful for everyone in my life. I was saying the guys or whatever, but also like my girls and my friends and my guy friends. And yeah, I have had a lot of horrible things happen to me, but I have had a lot of like really wonderful things. And I have seen where steps that I didn't understand that were being filled in are being filled in. And
Mhm.
I can look back and be like, "Oh my gosh, that happened. So that could happen. So that could happen. And now I'm at this place and I feel more open and ready. And never did I think I was going to feel this way. Or maybe I thought I was going to feel this way sooner and I didn't. And now I understand why." And so,
Mhm. Yeah, it's really cool when you see kind of the progress that you've made with yourself because it really just is like, "Okay, cool, I see that now." Like, I think it sometimes takes a while to zoom out and be like, "Oh, wow, look how far I've come actually in X amount of time." But then you're like, "Okay, I'm just gonna keep growing too." So, it's just you're just gonna keep learning more and yeah, there's no rules to dating either, like, this is all so I wish I could say what you should or shouldn't do, but, like, you just gotta just do it and get hurt and have fun and grow, like, it's all gonna make sense at some point, right?
it'll all come out in the wash.
And
We're
there
on a
are people
floating
too
rock.
we are can you say that one more time, please? It's so
We're on a
beautiful.
floating rock. We
Mhm.
live by this. We live by this. We're on a floating rock, guys. All
Any
right.
anytime there's any major or very minor, like, uh, what's the word? Like
Event or anything that happens in our
yeah,
life where
just
we're
some
like, like
yeah, if there's
catastrophe,
ever anything going on where we're, like,
minor
kind of feeling,
inconvenience.
we always say, "Well, at least we know that we're just on a floating rock," so it's just, like, so true. I don't know. You don't have to do anything you don't wanna do, and, yeah. Okay, well, first of all, I think that, that was really cool for you to, like, open up about this because people are very curious about your dating life and your just your life, but especially dating. And
Mhm.
I think just to like talk about it, there's so many other people who are probably feeling kind of lost and like, it's probably very helpful to be like, okay, cool, like this is something where I'm not alone Did you hear that? Alone.
Alone,
I'm not alone.
alone.
But yeah, thank you for sharing all of that.
Oh gosh, yes. And I want to continue to share and open up how I see fit. Maybe I'll keep some things private, maybe I won't. Who's to know? It
Mhm.
may also depend on who the person is and how public they want stuff or whatever. If I get
Mhm.
into a
True.
situationship or relationship or whatever, how
Yeah.
much they want me to share. But
Mhm.
I'll be
Lipstick
spilling.
break, lip gloss
I'll
break.
I'll definitely be spilling some tea though. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's not many dull moments in your life.
I don't know. I
Uh,
feel like 90% of my life is like carpool, work, baseball.
mhm.
There is always something happening though.
No, the last night we were talking super late on FaceTime. We were playing a game, and this morning, like, I don't know, it was a couple hours that went by of like we each were sleeping, and then Laura's like, "I have so much to tell you." I'm like, "What happened in the past 3, 4, maybe 5 hours?" That it's just always something is going on.
There was like 4 things that I had to tell you too.
Yeah,
I mean, I do
there
tell you
was.
like every time I breathe, but there was like 2 things that were pretty significant, which is kinda
Mhm,
crazy.
mhm. So, we are going to play a game. Duh.
Game time.
Game time.
Game time. I'm sticking with that jingle. It's bad, but
Game time. Yeah, we're gonna have to like sing everything in the next episode. Just sing the whole episode. Game time though is our favorite time, and this is a game that I've played with a couple different friends, and it just never gets old to me. It's I don't know if there's any name for this, but where you say, okay, he is a 10, like he's a 10 out of 10, but and then you say something that like maybe will make him drop from a 10, or you could say he's a 1 but and then something that might make him. So I'm going to say that to her, and then she's going to give me like what number he would fall after hearing it, if that
okay.
makes sense. Unless you have a better way of describing it, because I have no
No,
idea.
this is perfect. Are you just gonna be the one coming up with them and I'm
No,
gonna
you can ask me to.
okay.
Okay. Do you want me to go first, or do you want
I feel like you should do some attacks
to? Okay.
also
It's going
in
to
the
be like
mix.
another roasting session.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know it already.
Okay. Um, okay. He's a 2, but he's got a mustache.
It's probably a 4 at least.
He's probably a 4.
At
Okay.
least.
I knew
Maybe a
it.
6.
Your turn.
He is an 8, but he sings opera all day long.
12 out of 10.
That'd
Love
be her
that.
husband. That'd be her
I
husband.
do love that.
I
Okay,
know.
he's a 10,
I
but
know
he
you do. I
hates.
also love that.
Yeah, it's so funny. He's a 10, but he hates kids.
A 0.
Fair.
Get get away.
If
I
you
got
hate
2 of
kids,
them.
you're probably like a serial killer, to be honest.
Yeah, and also, like, find someone who can't have kids or doesn't want kids and also hates kids, but I have
Mhm.
2 of them, so, like, literally don't even speak to me.
Yes. Facts.
He's a 7, but he exclusively listens to Nickelback. Exclusively.
That's so funny. Like, only that's it?
Only Nickelback.
And he's not willing to listen to
Not willing at
anything.
all to change to listen to anything
He's
else.
probably just still a 7. That's
Yeah, he's
fine. It's just a little strange.
yeah, it's
Maybe a
strange.
6, honestly. Like, if you're not willing to, like, listen to other music, that's very restrictive.
It's really strange.
Okay. He's he's a 10, but will he only will be in a relationship with you if it's an open relationship. So, like, he can date other people and you can too.
He's a he's a 10,
Mhm,
but it's an open relationship.
mhm.
Girl, I can even do an open situationship, but he's like he's like -1.
Yeah, no hate to people who do that, like, respect to you.
No,
I personally I
I'm not
count me out for that.
I'm one of God's toughest shoulders. Not that way though. I'm one of
Yeah.
God's most sensitive soldiers when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess I
Mm.
just was in a loyal relationship for 11 years, so that, like, really, like, He gets me all done turn up.
Mhm.
Mm-mm,
Fair. I couldn't do it
can't.
either.
He is no, he's a 10, but he blacks out and punches walls twice a
Mm.
year.
He's a 10 and does that?
He's a 10 and does that.
Blacks out and punches walls twice a year?
Mhm.
I don't know why I'm gonna say this, but I'd say like a 9. Like, as long as you're not punching people. That's so bad. He's probably like a 7 actually, because that's like aggression. Twice a year is so specific.
Every weekend.
Oh,
Every
okay.
okay, every weekend. Do every weekend.
He's a he's a 2, but he, um, is just like okay, hold on, let me rethink this because I was gonna say he's a 2, but he's perfect, and that doesn't check out.
That does
Okay,
not check out.
um,
Maybe like acts of service or something.
actually, I'm gonna say he's a 10, but he does not let you have, like, girl time.
Oh. I can't live without girl time.
Me neither.
I mean, like a 3. A
Yeah,
3. Get out
that's
of here.
generous.
I
Yeah, that's not cool.
no,
Not cool.
not cool at all. Hate it.
Yeah. Give us our
Um,
girl time.
give us our girl time. He he's a 9, but he has the most southern accent you can imagine. Like so much so that you have to ask him what he's talking about one time because he'll say things like deep freeze and cornbread and it really confuses you.
Like, I don't know why, but I kinda love that. I would say he's probably still a 9 because it's kinda fun. I'm like,
I love a country accent.
I love it.
I love it, baby. Get it.
Oh, that's so funny. Um, he's a 10, but he just got out of prison that he was in prison for, like, 10 years for what would you be in prison for 10 years for? Like, maybe drugs, I don't know.
0.
You don't
0.
like that?
No felons. No actual felons.
Yeah. Mm. Your turn.
Um, he's a 3, but he's a baseball player.
Like a 5?
Yeah.
Uh, okay. He's a 7, but he's a firefighter, which
He's a
is usually
4.
people would be like, "Ooh." What
I'm
is
like,
he?
he's a 4.
Mhm. Word is not like that.
Mm-mm. Get me away from the uniforms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hate and love them at the same time.
Yeah.
It's
There's
just because I'm
probably
like,
some, like, really great firefighter men out there, but
I'm not saying I wouldn't go on a date with them. I just and would be very wary. The problem with me is I love a man who has a mustache and tattoos, and most men are either military or police or fire. And
Mhm.
I would like to stay away from that. I'm not saying that my person is not one of those things, but generalizing, not at the top of the list.
Mhm. Mhm.
They make me scared.
They make me scared. They make me
He's a 2, but he dotes on you and is like golden retriever, not like overly golden retriever, but
He
like I
what?
mean golden retriever, but not overly golden retriever-y,
You said he what's on me?
like acts of service you. He like gives you like a lot of dotes on you
Oh,
constantly.
dope.
Like a lot.
What
Yeah,
did you say he was? A what?
he's a
Number?
4.
4.
He's a 4, but he like really loves acts of service, really always wants to make you feel special, is always doting on you.
Hmm. Like, I honestly would probably say just, like, a 5 because that's lovely, but I could do without 2. I don't know. I had a good
Fair.
one, and then I just
That's funny.
lost.
That's really important to me.
Yeah, not I mean, it's important to me, but, like, I guess it's not as essential as maybe I thought it was.
Acts of service is like my love language, though.
Yeah, me too.
Wait, then would that not be higher for you?
Yeah, but he's a 4. So, like, 1 point higher maybe.
I'm
If
like,
he's a 4, like, what if he's, like, 5'2" and, like, has, like, boils all over, you know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I was listening to Nick Viall's podcast today, and they were talking about no. It's really when you say 1 through 10, it's really 5 through 10. Nobody's saying somebody's less than a 5, like to that person. Like
Oh,
nobody's
yeah.
coming up to you and saying you're a 3.
No.
Like no one would ever say that. Like it's literally I mean, obviously in your head you might think that, but you have to think 5 is average. 5 is most people. So like a 6 is really good actually.
Yeah, that's why I said 5 though, because that is my love language, but there's other love languages I still would be fine
Pick
with
over that.
too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know, that's a good one. Okay, he's a 10, but his mom hates you.
His mom hates you. How often do I have to see her?
He's, like, best friends with her, so, a couple times a week.
A week.
A
Oh
week.
man.
Couple
3.
times a month.
Nah. 3.
Yeah, right? That's something that would be, like, really hard for me.
Especially if you can't stand up to your mom, you're a 2. You're 0.
Yeah.
You have to be able to set boundaries.
Mhm.
That's what it tells me is you don't know how to set boundaries.
Mhm.
So
I have 2 more that just came to my brain, and I feel like if I don't say them now, I'm gonna lose
go
them. One
ahead.
of them is he's a 10, but his entire friend group is just all women. Not one man.
He may not like women, or maybe he does. I don't know. That's kind
That's
of crazy.
weird.
Not one man friend. That's crazy. That is
Mhm.
crazy. Yeah, you 2. There's something going on there.
That's weird. So
There's
that's gotta
some
be
deeper issue. I don't know what it is, and I'm not
Mhm.
gonna tell you what your issue is, but there's a deeper issue there. Okay, your other one.
And the other one is, he's a 10, but he's mean to his mom.
You're a 2.
Yeah, that's a hard no for me. I can't.
You can't be
Gotta
mean
be
to your
nice to
mom.
your mom.
You gotta be nice to your mom.
Yeah.
Respectful, at least.
I think that's all I
Um,
can think about. If you do you have any more?
yeah, he is a 10, but he wants to text you all day long about
Like, would
nothingness.
he get mad if I didn't answer or
He wouldn't get mad, but you would definitely hear about it. He'd be like, "You didn't
Okay,
answer my
well, that's
text."
kind of
It's really
annoying.
important for me. Yeah, no, I couldn't
I
afford
don't know, I feel like that's like a 5. That's, like, kind of too much for me.
It's too much.
What would you
You
say?
Yeah, 5. Not
Yeah.
into
Mm-mm.
it.
He's a 10, but he's addicted to video games.
Addicted?
Mhm.
3. That's
Yeah, I can
affecting so
imagine
much
that.
of my life.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people out there who don't even let, like, their person play. I agree.
Um, he's a 10, but he has to FaceTime his mom every night before bed.
I hate that, and I'm gonna say, like, oh god, no, I think that's like a 3. I hate that. I don't like that. Ew.
There's deeper issues there if that's happening.
I don't like that at all.
He
Ew.
is a 10, but his best friend comes over and spends the night every Thursday night, and they get blackout.
Mm, I don't like that either. You said he's a 10?
Mhm.
Maybe like a 6. That's
Yeah.
not fun for me.
Yeah, I don't know, I have kids, I'm like, 4. I'm like,
Yeah, even
we do
without
not
kids,
have
I'm like,
time to be getting blackout every fucking Thursday.
I don't like that.
I don't like that at all.
It's hard for me to do the ones where he's a 2 and then you go up because I can't
Yeah.
even
Well, you should be able to think of some things for me. Come on.
probably. Well, he's a 2, but he's, like, tatted and probably some part of, like what is it, like, the military, the army? Those are probably 2 different things, I don't even know. But
The
he's in that
military is
kind
the
of
overall there's, like, a bunch of branches underneath the military.
yes, but he's got some thigh tats and a mustache, and he's in that, field of work.
The field of work brings him down a little bit. Would you say it was a 2?
Mhm.
Okay, so 1.5, and then tattoos. Shoot, we're gonna add 2 points for that, obviously. Mustache, break. we're up one more. We're at a 5. We're fully at a 5 now.
Okay.
A thigh tat, maybe in a 6. Does he have good thighs? If he got good thighs, he's probably 6. That's
Um, he's a 10, but he expects you to be the breadwinner and, like, he wants to be a stay-at-home husband and, like, cook and clean and not work, and you make all the money.
you said he's a 10,
Mhm.
maybe an 8.
'Cause he's, like, helping still,
Yeah.
but personally, I like work ethic. I guess that's still kind of
But
I don't know.
yeah, if you're passionate and you're gonna work or you're gonna help me run what I need to run, I kinda would love that, actually. I would kinda, like, love a man who could, like, maybe have his own thing, but also maybe, like, work for me. That way he can always be with me and we can travel together.
Mhm.
So, honestly,
Ooh, he's a
so
10.
maybe I'll be a sugar mama one day.
Ah.
Maybe I'll be a sugar mama of somebody who, like, already has money too. That'd be great. Anyway,
Yeah, that'll be fun. You heard
just
it here
throwing things out
first.
there. You heard it here first.
Mhm.
Are we done?
Yeah, I really am, like, feeling like the ones that I'm thinking about are just kinda weird and lame now.
Wait, if you haven't even just say it, I think they're funny.
Mm, another weird one. He's a 10, but, like, his kink is to lick jelly and peanut butter off of your toes.
Okay, if it's just, like, specifically that and he's a 10, how many times do I have to do it?
Every
A
night.
month? Every night?
Mhm. It's a nighttime routine.
6. I'm like,
Yeah, I would be like, "You're not doing that every night."
yeah. I mean, I don't know, it depends. Do you check every box? Like, geez.
Yeah, every box checked.
Yeah, then maybe a 6. Maybe I would.
Okay, he's a 10, but he has a gambling problem.
A 1.
That's so b I don't like
I can't.
no for me.
He is a 10, but he, uh, disrespectfully talks about how hot women are in front of you.
Oh god,
Mm-mm.
0. That's an
Mhm.
absolute no for me. Like, I don't need my man to be like I don't want him to bash women, but, like,
Right.
that's ew. Ew.
Yeah, don't make me feel, like, insecure.
Yeah, I don't like that. Don't like that
No,
at all.
because 'cause I'm a secure woman, but I'm not interested in having you be like, "That girl is so hot."
Mhm.
No. I mean, we can both be like, "Oh, that was a pretty girl. Wow, she kinda had a big butt. Yeah, did you see that? Yeah, yeah." I'm cool
Mhm.
with that kinda talk. That's fine.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, because I know you have eyes, but,
That was a good one. Hard no. Hard no for me.
um, he's a 10, but he refuses to FaceTime you, and you don't live with him, you're not married to him.
Oh, no. Like, will he call or is it just no like
No
just
calls.
going from what you just said, I'm just gonna say, like a 6.
Yeah, I love a FaceTime.
Yeah, like that, especially if you're, like if you're doing long distance or whatever, or you don't live by each other, you gotta be able to do that.
You got to.
Hello.
Abby says hello.
She's so cute.
I love you. I love you.
I love you.
Oh.
Did you have a good day at school today?
Mhm.
Who did you play with today at school?
Um, no one played with me. Upstairs in this house.
No one played with you?
No, they run away from me.
Oh? That's
Did you
not
go
right.
get them? That's not nice.
No, it's
Mm.
not nice.
I would play with you.
Abby said she would play with you. I know what color I am today.
What?
Freaking red. You know
I knew
why?
you
I got my nails redone. Red. Well, they've been red, but I just She did them, and I'm wearing red, and I'm feeling red, and I'm going to Zach Bryan tomorrow, and I'm wearing red, and
I love that. You are red.
what color are you?
I'm not gonna say tan because I'm wearing tan, but I think I'm like a green, like maybe like this color green. I need to stop drinking this because so I'm green and you're red. We're Christmas. I don't know. I just feel like I feel like green, like earthy.
Grounded.
I want to touch some grass.
We love some grass.
Mhm.
Okay, what song that I'm gonna say is 68 Fastback by Zach Bryan. I've been listening to that. And that one I was not as familiar with. And so yeah, that's a bit on replay. Actually, his whole set list, by the way, you can find it.
I love him. I've been listening to a song that's not even out yet, but it's like there's videos of this guy singing it. It's called
Hoser?
Slow It Down by Benson Boone.
Oh,
Apparently it's supposed to come out today, but I can only find it like him live singing it, so I have no idea. But it's so good.
that's very exciting. I love new music. Send it to me when it comes
I will.
out when you see it.
I think you're gonna.
Bye, guys. Thank y'all so much for listening. Don't forget to follow us on social media, The Path Less Talked About, on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Spotify and Apple Music, as well as Laura Swindle on TikTok. Laura Swindle underscore on underscore. What? Now, mama. Instagram and Laura Swindle on TikTok, and Abby Huff underscore on Instagram, and Abby underscore Huff underscore 14 on TikTok.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much for listening. Let us know if there's any fun games you want us to play because we'll do it. And tune in next time. Bye.
Bye.